You don't have to be the richest person. You don't have to have the fastest bike or the fastest suit or the fastest shoes. As long as you are prepared to put the work in, you can do anything. My name is Lisa Leonard. I'm 25 years old and I'm from Aberdeenshire in Scotland. I moved to America, to Las Vegas, in May of 2012. And before that, I was born and raised in Scotland, lived there my entire life. So I started exercising probably 2006, 2007, I started to run. I tried running 10 minutes. That was all I could do. And I couldn't actually even do that at the time. So of course, when you start to run and you can't run for 10 minutes, you sign up for a marathon because that obviously makes perfect sense. So I signed up for a marathon and my friend Laura Murray, who is actually on the British cycling team now. She was a really competitive triathlete as well. I worked with her at the time and she suggested that I do this triathlon as just as part of cross training. It was in my hometown, this short little race in Inverurie. It was a sprint distance race. So I thought, what the hell, I'll just enter it and see how it goes. So I enter it and I'm the only junior athlete that competes in this event. So I win, of course, and win first prize and win, I think, a gift voucher and a bicycle pump, which I didn't have a bicycle pump, so this is actually like a plus for me. When I started out doing triathlon, I didn't have the luxury of a few £1,000s to spend on a road bike or race wheels or the best shoes or the best kit or anything like that. In this sport particularly, often people come along to the races and they see all this kit, all this kind of bling. And what I like to show people is that you don't have to be the richest person. You don't have to have the fastest bike or the fastest suit or the fastest shoes. As long as you are prepared to put the work in, you can do anything. When I lived at home in Scotland, I competed with the Great Britain age group team for triathlon, which was an unbelievable experience. It took me to far off places all around the world, like Australia, China, Hungary, Spain, Ireland, and it was a wonderful way to experience these countries while doing the thing I like to do most, which is triathlon. So when I moved to Henderson, I did not know anyone. I had never been here before. I didn't know where I was going to be living. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a bank account. I couldn't get an apartment until I had a bank account. I couldn't get a bank account until I had an address. I couldn't get an address until I had this bank account and credit history. All I had was my bike. So I was cycling around in Henderson and Las Vegas in like 110 plus degree weather with like no water bottles because I didn't take water bottles with me, so I would make trips into gas stations quickly to rehydrate, and I think I probably got heat stroke at least 5 times in my first month that I arrived here. My first triathlon in America was the Amica Sprint Triathlon. I can't remember exactly when it was. I think it was maybe June of 2012. So I really had only been here a month, if that. And I went out. I was obviously like a completely unknown athlete to the area, to America. And I went and I did the sprint triathlon and won it. At the time when I had beat them, I really didn't know what that meant. That didn't really mean anything to me at the time. It was only later when I got to know and respect these people individually as athletes that I was really quite surprised at myself that I managed to do that in my first race in US soil. So Obviously, being from the UK, Chrissie Wellington is a huge idol of mine. She came to the sport later in her 20s and really dominated the scene. Her racing resume is amazing, you know, and the leaps and bounds that she made for women as triathletes as well, like to be noticed and recognized as like figureheads in the sport, was really good for our sport. Last year I placed third overall female at Pumpkin Man. My mum placed first in her age group, so she was delighted, and I was actually on Skype to her last night or yesterday through the day, her nighttime. And I was asking her when she was maybe going to come over and visit again. And I was talking about different races, and I'd mentioned Pumpkin Man, and she said, "Oh yeah, I should really come back over and maintain my title." She's funny. That race is really special for both of us because I think we've both been through a lot in the last few years and overcome a lot. So it was really nice and really special to be able to compete with her at the Pumpkin Man event. It was really good. I was kind of overwhelmed with emotion as well because I had overcome all these things. I'd moved across the world, I'd started a new job, I found somewhere to live, I'd got a car, and I still managed to race to a level that allowed me to qualify for the World Championships. So it was a really kind of odd feeling of emotions, of kind of feeling, well, you know, you're here, just enjoy it. But then the nervous aspect of it, like, can I do this? I don't want to make a fool of myself. And I know so many people are out here supporting me, and so many people back home are following me online. I don't want to let anyone down. I put a huge amount of pressure on myself to do well and do the best that I can every single race. And when I don't, I'm really, really tough on myself. What you have to do is be confident in your own ability and your own training, and just know that, like, as long as you turn up on race day and do the best you possibly can do, and when you feel like you're struggling, you push harder. When you feel like you can't go faster, you push faster. As long as you do that and you never ever give up, then who cares like what everyone else brings to the table, because you knew that what you brought to the table was all that you could do on race day. If I had to give me advice, or someone in a similar position, I would say listen to your body. That is probably your best tool. Don't give up, and learn from the people around you. Don't be so blinkered or blindsided by your own goals or your own beliefs or your own perceptions of the sport, because you can always learn something new, and you can always learn from other people, no matter whether they're a beginner triathlete or a professional triathlete. And I know that from experience. I've gained advice from all kinds of people in this sport. And that's kind of why I love the sport, is everyone is out to help one another. Everyone is there to support the other triathletes and cheer everyone on to get across that finish line. So